Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Venus transiting in Scorpio. So this year Venus is in Scorpio from the 13th of October at 31 minutes past midnight. Then Venus enters out of bounds on the 26th of October at 1:04 AM, and then Venus enters Sagittarius on the 6th of November. So now I'm going to discuss the holistic astrological meanings, the practical, financial, political, worldly, materialistic and social collective meanings of Venus in Scorpio. So when Venus is in Scorpio, it intensifies our emotions and relationships, developing deep connections and passionate interactions. We can find ourselves more drawn to intense and transformative relationships, and this is a time where we can leave the superficial, the shallow, the surface behind in favour of being more deep, vulnerable and authentic, so our feelings can become all consuming, pushing us to explore the depths of love and desire, while also confronting fears and insecurities. This position encourages honesty and emotional exchanges, as well as, seeking meaningful bonds that resonate with your innermost self. And in terms of our relationships, there can be more possessiveness, jealousy, because Scorpio energy can really thrive on intensity and loyalty, and if this energy makes someone thinks that you're being disloyal, or you may think they're being disloyal, then a chaotic volcano can happen. But positively, we can experience a greater need for intimacy and, of course, trust. So it can push us to clarify boundaries and ensure, emotional safety. It can also reveal sort of like hidden dynamics within our partnerships, allowing us to confront underlying issues, ultimately leading to profound healing or transformation. So on the holistic astrological level, it's just a time for us to, deepen the psychological, spiritual or emotional connection with ourselves and others, and just be more authentic in our communication with ourselves and others as well. So on the practical financial level, it can bring sort of like, because remember Scorpio energy penetrates, right? It goes beyond the surface, so it allows us to focus on our resource management, which is like your physical energy, time, possessions, anything like that, and it brings opportunities for investment, and we can just find ourselves more drawn to projects that require deep analysis, deep thought and strategic planning, detailing each step, because sometimes we have a big idea of what we want to do, but we miss out the tiny steps. If you want to be a CEO, then you have to get ready for those early morning starts, between 4 and 7 AM, and you have to make sure then that you're you look after your body, you get enough exercise, you eat the right foods, you take supplements when you need to, you look after your physical health, your mental health and psychological health the best that you can, because if you don't do that, that will get in the way of you being a CEO or a doctor, or even, having any stable career, even cleaning the streets. We all need routine. Some of us have different times, so this energy wants us to really, be strategic in our plans. Also, we can explore businesses or ventures or personal projects that involve shared resources, collaborations, and the 8th house Scorpio lives there in astrology, and it rules joint finances. So yeah, joint financial plans, joint plans in general. So this is a really potent and good time to dig deep into the realms of finance and, look through all your real estate investments or settlements or anything like that to thoroughly understand whatever it is you're dealing with, looking through your own personal finances as well. Use the magnifying glass, get really down. Are you saving enough? Where could you save if you can't save? Because I know that, economic situations are hard for us all. So, just really looking at, how you could maybe get some skills. You may not be able to go to college or school, but you could always go online, get an online course, look at free online videos, think about the ways that you can improve your skills to improve your, career prospects, to bring more financial abundance in your life. It's about, really leveraging your own and other people's strengths in your partnerships. And we can just focus more on, aesthetics and value more, and we can be really evaluating. This is what, this energy wants us to do. Look at our inner values, our sense of, where we're overspending, because Venus can make us overspend. So thinking about your financial priorities and cutting out unnecessary expenses, and really considering what is a necessary expense. We can also find ourselves inspired to tap into more transformative financial practices, such as investing in personal development, or, as I said, our education, or even spiritual development, but more about that later. So yeah, really it's a good energy to use for negotiation, restructuring of your possessions, money, time, energy, what relationships are draining you, what thought patterns in your mind are draining you, yeah, we must, analyze the past so we can heal from it, but we can do too much introspection. I'm for introspection, but even I realise you can do too much of it. So yeah, so just use this energy to empower yourself and go after what you desire in the material realm. For some of you in the spiritual areas of your life or personal development areas of your life. So now I'm going to talk about the political dynamics. So because there can be a lot of intense emotions, power structures within relationships with alliances in governments and nations and all of that, we can see our increase in passions and desires that driving political agendas right now. So this can make negotiations more complex and emotionally charged, so things could get out of hand and underhand, people promising one thing, yes, we'll stick to this peace treaty, but then, not sticking to it and stuff like that. Political groups or leaders can seek to establish dominance or form strategic alliances based on trust and loyalty. So that's the positive of it as well. Public sentiment can shift, so charismatic, magnetic leaders can, be more in our minds and captivate our collective psyches more, and pushing their narratives with a more persuasive. We can never forget that Scorpio's energy is all about sex, but what we miss on the esoteric level, sex is about creation energy. So a lot of the time when we think we may want to make love, what we really want to do is create something, give birth to something, whether it be a book, a piece of content, a podcast. But because we've been programmed to look on the material, we forget that we don't dig deep enough, and Scorpio's energy is all about being deep and going within and really getting real about who you are and what this world is. Also, politically, issues of secrecy and manipulation can rise to the surface, and we may see political leaders using covert, as I said, underhand tactics to achieve their goals. And there can just be an increase in polarising rhetoric, discussions, propaganda, edging on our emotions, pushing us further away and getting us more divisive against each other. So, you know, just have to watch out for that. We will work much better as a collective if we literally did that, you know, work together. Also, you know, scandals and hidden agendas can come to light as well, and it encourages us to deeply examine our, you know, the values within our political, you know, beliefs, our discourse, what we say, and it pushes us to consider what truly matters in the political realm and in the world. As I just said, you know, we've got bills to pay, we want the highest wages and all of that, but what the things that, you know, we want for ourselves, we should want for others. And we all know, I see the world, a lot of the times it doesn't work out like that, but it should work out like that because everything will be a lot better. But yeah, so on the worldly materialistic level, it kind of like digs into our deeper desires and motivations, and it, as I said, wants us to really dig into our attachments, and especially our attachments to material possessions, you know, toxic relationships, obsessive behaviours and thoughts and stuff like that. And a lot of the time we think, oh, I've been doing this for 10, 20 years, I won't ever change it. It is hard to change, but what you have to understand, like, if we see everything as a vibration energy, our thoughts can sort of like create like a stronghold. Think of it like a mental aura. You know, those cartoon characters that glow up, like, just think of it like that. So these turn into thought forms, and then they make us believe we can't be more in control of our own psychological, emotional and spiritual states, which we can, you know. It just takes us to just keep on trying, because obviously if you've been doing something for 10, 20 years, it's hard to break, but it's just, you know, about getting up after every failed attempt of you know, trying to change your life. And I know, you know, when you suffer from like depression and other deep psychological mental illnesses, maybe even schizophrenia or bipolar and stuff like that, it can be hard, but I believe even within them we can still, because I've battled with depression in my life, and I've, you know, by constantly being aware and trying every time and being gentle with yourself, because sometimes it can be hard on yourself and very low and stuff like that. So it really wants us to go deep within and, you know, think about really connecting deeply with things, the things that we buy right now, thinking about what truly brings us satisfaction and security. Is it really that car, that ring, that watch, that house, you know, them holidays, you know, is it really the money in the bank, or what really is going to make you happy? A lot of the time we conform to what society tells us will make us happy, and a lot of us find misery in that. So also in the broader context, it can bring changes in like consumer market trends, and, you know, as I said, it wants us to will wanting to connect with people and products that have more emotional resonance with us over just mere aesthetics and status. So a lot of you right now may think, you know, I don't care anymore about, you know, what people think, or I want to break out of this relationship, it's holding me back. Also we can sort of like focus on being more sustainable and ethical in all areas of our life, and yeah, we can just want to connect with products, services, relationships that promote our genuine well-being right now, rather than, you know, the fleeting gratification, instant gratification. It wants us to think more of delaying our gratification by making long-term plans and getting real about what we really want from our lives. So on a social collective level, it wants us to be more authentic, so this can reveal hidden emotions and desires within our communities or family. As I said, relationships can become a lot more intense but also transformative, pushing us to confront underlying issues in social connections that have previously gone unaddressed, unlooked at, and this can lead to a sense of solidarity, and it just promotes us to be more empathetic and understanding as well. It can also just inspire us to focus on community healing and support, shared experiences. This can really gain traction. We can understand each other more. Conversations may feel a bit out of your depth and could get kind of aggressive in words and stuff, or but ultimately, if you're willing to provide active listening spaces and safe spaces to each other, this can really be a good time for you to really work together, whether it's through workshops, community building events designed to create more trust and openness. And it just wants us to develop environments where we can feel valued, heard, and just strengthen the ties that bind us, not only as a community, as humanity altogether. So yeah. So now I'm going to talk about the psychological, spiritual, esoteric, symbolic, creative and emotional meanings on a deeper level. So in terms of on the deep psychological level, because it can challenge our understanding of love and relationships, because it pushes us, if we allow it, to confront our deepest fears, desires and insecurities, and it pushes us to dig into the hidden aspects of your psyche. You may find yourself drawn to intense connections that kind of spark passion, but also invite vulnerability, pushing us to face unresolved issues from the past, and it can sort of like serve as a transformative journey, allowing us to release emotional baggage and cultivate a deeper sense of intimacy with ourselves and others. And we may, as I said, want to explore themes of power, control and trust, or they just may come up in our experiences right now, and whatever's happening is pushing us to be more authentic, and through some really long thought out self-reflection, you can emerge from this transit with a clearer understanding of your emotional needs and boundaries, and this can make way for more healthier and more fulfilling relationships with others, starting with you embracing your shadow, starting or continuing shadow work, inner work, so you can just ultimately get to love your strengths and your weaknesses, and how to turn your weaknesses into strengths, and how to love yourself even when you're not being your best self. So yeah, it really allows for significant personal growth. It really wanting us to learn to embrace both the light and shadow within our emotions, psychological state, spiritual state within us. So now I'm going to talk about the spiritual awakenings that can happen. So because it pushes us to challenge our existing beliefs and perceptions, what we believe to be true about the world and the people in it, forcing us to confront our inner truths and align with our higher self, and it pushes us to explore the depths of our soul, and we may find that we've really become more vulnerable and open with ourselves at least, and as we tap into our reservoir of spiritual insight, we can just reveal layers of resistance that we have previously overlooked, and this journey can lead to increased awareness of our own spiritual path and purpose, and it can sort of like push us towards being more authentic. And as we engage with these profound bonds, we can experience moments of synchronicity and deep intuition that further illuminate our spiritual journey. And whatever we experience right now can mirror our inner state, so we may blame the external world and people, and don't get me wrong, there can be external circumstances and people to blame, but this energy reminds us to allow ourselves to recognise the patterns and themes that require healing within us. And, you know, because I've been there myself, I used to be, you know, very, very sensitive, and I still am, I'm still that way. But I've learned to understand more about people's trauma and their psychological wounds and why they do things, and it affects me less to take it not personally but just a product of their unresolved trauma. Of course, taking accountability for your own unresolved trauma and stuff, but when you start to see things in terms of in that way, not seeing, you know, people always personally attacking you, even when they are, and of course we don't accept that behaviour in our life. But my point is, if when we train ourselves to heal ourselves on the psychological, emotional, spiritual levels, the outside world can affect us less. So this is not in a discompassionate way, and oh, I don't give a, you know, crap about humanity or cold or nothing. It's not like that. It's just that you can, you know, you can see the root causes of things. And remember, Scorpio's energy wants us to have a richer understanding of love, connection, and the interconnectedness of all beings and life, from, you know, the leaf on the tree to, you know, the veins within us, you know, and you look at the back of the leaf, they can resemble our veins, just nature showing us once again we are all connected. And, you know, this can create a deeper sense of unity and belonging in our spiritual and emotional life. On the esoteric hidden level, it wants us to really, really uncover the underlying motivations that drive our emotional connections and our, you know, our thoughts and our behaviours and our inclinations. You know, sometimes we can be attracted to people because we've got unresolved trauma surrounding our parenting. Our parents could have been controlling. We seek out that type of person to be with, you know. So when we, you know, go within, a lot of the time we do, you know, it's scary. I'm not going to sell this stuff. If you do it already, you know, confronting yourself and really working with that side, that can be really scary. But it can also be awakening, because it can, you know, stir up deeply buried feelings within us. And as we confront our fears of intimacy with ourselves and reclaim our personal power, you know, and by accepting to start the work or continue the work of understanding the sadder aspects of your psyche, this can lead to a deeper understanding of both yourself and others. And as you explore the themes of regeneration and rebirth, you know, letting go of old patterns within you and engaging with the cycles of life, death and renewal, which Scorpio's energy is all about. You know, we must transform many times, but a lot of the times we get stuck because we won't deal with our traumas, and, you know, because we fear them, and we've been, you know, society as a whole, you know, we're getting better at recognising mental health and emotional issues, but for a long time didn't recognise emotions. You know, with, you know, you're weak if you show emotions and all of that. So we're really just relearning how to get back in touch with our childlike, you know, state, and, you know, not wound the inner child, deal with the inner child's wounds, you know. So yeah, it empowers us and pushes us to elevate our consciousness and wants us to really just, you know, gain insights about love, the true nature of love and nature itself, you know, the trees, the birds. It wants us to really, really, you know, connect with those deeper parts of us. So on the creative level, it wants us to channel our feelings into creative projects, outlets, music, poetry, I don't know, singing, allowing yourself to express and transform your inner world, you know, like let your emotions out through creative expression. So yeah, you know, art, drawing, writing, content creation, tapping into the depths of your experiences can lead to like innovative solutions to your problems and ideas and breakthroughs within yourself as you confront and integrate the complexities of your emotional life, spiritual life, psychological life, or all three. And you can discover new sources of inspiration that push your creativity and As you allow yourself to transcend your past, let go of it and reimagine your future, this creates a fertile ground for creative expression, and the raw energy of Venus empowers you to draw upon your personal journey, making your creative work not only, more reflective of your experiences, but also as a bridge to a deeper connection with yourself and others as well. So yeah, on the symbolic level, Venus is associated with the goddess of love and beauty in Roman mythology, and Scorpio is linked to the scorpion in Greek mythology. So, because during this transit we can experience an increase in emotions in our relationships within ourselves, and it wants us to focus on trust, transformation and intimacy. It wants us to really, use the transformative power of love and connection. And on the deeper mythological level, Venus in Scorpio is parallel to the story of Persephone's descent into the underworld, Demeter with her mother in Sor, and Hades stole Persephone in Sor as well. And this symbolises themes of transformation and rebirth through intense emotional experiences, and it just invites us to explore our deepest desires and emotions within the realm of relationships and personal values in general. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Venus makes when it enters Scorpio this year, and how they influence this year's Venus in Scorpio. Okay, so the first aspects we've got is the Moon making a square to Venus and Venus making a trine to Mars, and this can bring a conflict between our emotional needs and our desire for affection. The Moon square to Venus, we can find ourselves sort of like grappling with feelings of insecurity and dissatisfaction in our relationships, making it challenging to express our love openly. It's a time when misunderstandings can come up, leading to potential emotional turmoil or tension with loved ones, and it's essential to navigate our feelings thoughtfully and ensure that our emotional responses do not overshadow our ability to connect with those we care about. Because of the Moon square to Venus, Venus is trine to Mars again, brings us passion and attraction, but it can also help us channel that frustration that we may feel, and be more constructive with that energy, that frustration, turning it into constructive, productive, expressive expressions of our love and desire or creativity for some of you. It can also make us more sociable, and it can just allow us to have deeper connections and supporting us going deep. And this is what all this energy is all about. So with these energies, we can use the Moon Venus square to consciously work to strengthen our relationships right now through open communication, and we can use Venus is trine to Mars to create affection and understanding. But because Venus is trining Mars on a negative end, it can still make us reckless, disrespecting people's boundaries and being impulsive as well. So we just need to watch out for that. Venus also makes an opposition to Uranus, and Venus makes a trine to Neptune. So it kind of like adds to our desire for freedom and being spontaneous in our relationship, and this can clash with traditional romantic expectations right now. So it's kind of getting in the way of Venus's energy in Scorpio to go deep, but this unexpected, sort of like Uranus brings unexpected events, that's what I was saying, and can cause like a shake-up in our love life. So again, it's making us want more freedom, but it pushes us to reassess what we truly value in our relationships. Are they meeting our needs? Are they toxic? Are they stunting our growth? That sort of thing. Are they bringing us pleasure and love. You know, how can we respect that more? And, you know, sometimes we forget, we get caught up in work and all the rest of it. We can forget how much we do love someone. So, yeah, this push for excitement and novelty can be refreshing, but we just need to watch out for impulsive decisions and words that may lead to instability. It supports us with our growth, and we just need to, you know, balance any need for independence with the emotional needs of ourselves and those around us. Neptune is trying to Venus, again, adds to us being romantic and creative. We can make us too idealistic and ignore red flags, but it adds to the ability for us to connect with others on a deeper level. Neptune was the 12th house, the secrets can come out. We can share mystical experiences with others, but we can also fall into addictive behaviours such as intaking too much intoxicating substances and stuff together. Or, you know, positively, it allows for said dreams and goals and inspiration to really flourish and grow right now. Art and beauty, again, you know, it supports all of that, and spiritual exploration, as I said, and it just supports us in really going deep and going after the connection and intimacy we really want in our relationships. Also, at the time of Venus going into Scorpio, there's two T-squares. The first involves Mercury in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn, and the midheaven in Aries within the 24% orb. Then we've got Chiron in Pisces, Mars in Gemini, and the Sun in Virgo at a 44% orb. Also, there's a grand trine which involves the Sun in Virgo, the Moon in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Taurus within a 31% orb. So as you can see, a lot of aspects supporting, interfering or influencing this year's Venus in Scorpio. So again, it supports, you know, intense communication and transformation in our relationships, supporting us in, you know, confronting out that unresolved trauma, our fears and issues related to intimacy and trust and sexual repression as well. Again, supports that we can have, you know, controlling behaviours and power struggles in our relationships that may surface right now, but it's prompting a deeper examination of what we truly seek in love. And it just wants us to, you know, make sure we try and be mentally flexible and give ourselves time out. Some of you may benefit from voice recording what you're going to say, practicing it, writing it down, to, you know, stop it from coming out too passionately. And Mars in Gemini, that T-squares happens through that. But again, you know, it adds to the fact, you know, misunderstandings can come up, but, you know, we can have emotional stability and, you know, positive growth if we, you know, stay into it. And the grand trine allows us to harmonise the emotional intensity that comes up, and pushes us to, you know, and supports us to be self-reflective, be authentic, commit to mutual growth, and be supportive and try and maintain balance while respecting other people's boundaries and allowing them to respect ours, you know, like, well, you know, certain, you're also not allowing people to overstep your boundaries. That's what I was going to say. So yeah. So now I'm going to talk about the karmic meanings and lessons and the type of past life memories and dreams that may come up, as well as the collective karma of Venus in Scorpio. So it allows us to dig into our subconscious and reveal emotional patterns or psychological patterns or spiritual patterns that are stopping us from growing. It can illuminate our hidden fears, desires and unresolved issues that have shaped our current relationships, such as, you know, unresolved trauma from past heartbreaks, grief over deaths of loved ones, or, you know, neglectful parents or stuff like that. It wants us to feel more intimacy on a deeper level, and it encourages us to get there by exploring the deeper aspects of our relationships and our personality traits such as jealousy, power hungry, controlling, forceful behaviours, hidden desires, ultimately karmic lessons related to being vulnerable, and trust and what can make us trust comes to the forefront in our mind, and gaining that transformation within ourselves and partnerships. We can experience major shifts in our values and how we express love and affection, and it calls for us to embrace being authentic and allowing us to release outdated beliefs that no longer serve us and grow and evolve in the matters of the heart. So now I'm going to talk about the past life memories and dreams that may come up. So vivid dreams and memories around unresolved issues tied to the past, especially our relationships both in this life and previous ones. We may have disturbing nightmares or deja vu, or dreams that encourage reflection and healing. Also, these experiences can manifest as intense emotional imagery, pushing us to explore themes of betrayal, passion or possessiveness, and power dynamics as well. And by us allowing ourselves to work through these karmic patterns, we can create a sort of deeper sense of self. And we may also have dreams that resonate deeply around unfinished business or lessons that we haven't learned. Sometimes if you think about the reoccurring patterns in your life, why does the same thing keep happening to you? And this is not the victim blame or saying. A lot of the time, when you could be a people pleaser or kind person, you're always looking for the good in someone. And the truth is, we've all got good in us, but sometimes we are capable of some disgusting things, even if we are good people, whatever. So it's about you setting your boundaries about what you're willing to accept in your life and sticking to them, instead of, allowing others to continuously overstep your boundaries. And a lot of the time we do that because we don't set boundaries. So, it wants us to really, focus on doing that. So dreams that focus your attention there. Also, some of you may find yourself reminiscing about powerful connections that say pure understanding of love and intimacy, pushing you to confront any lingering fears or attachments. And as you become more aware of the patterns that have reoccurred throughout your life, particularly those that involve themes of trust and vulnerability, these insights can really push a profound inner transformation, enabling you to break free from karmic cycles that have hindered your personal growth. And the lessons that come up at this transit can really empower you to redefine your relationships, especially the relationship you have with yourself, leading to healthier dynamics and a more authentic expression of love. And it really can help us heal collectively and raise our individual and collective consciousness, and just allow us to have a deeper understanding of relationship dynamics on a wider scale anyway. And ultimately, on a collective level, it wants us to reclaim our personal power and really focus on, the themes of trust, jealousy, and power dynamics in our relationships. It reminds us of the importance of honesty and clarity, not only with others, but also with yourself. And, this can lead to moments of deep catharsis, release, and where we are willing to release our old wounds, so we can create healthier sort of perceptions and beliefs for ourselves and in our society and in our communities. And we can, really break free from outdated beliefs surrounding relationships, especially, those that perpetuate cycles of dependency and manipulation as well. And by engaging in self-reflection and open dialogue about these themes, we can, experience, collective healing and, contribute positively to the collective narrative, love and connection in an authentic way, So now I'm going to talk deeper about how Venus and Scorpio affect our relationships, starting with family relationships, and I'm going to talk about how it affects friendship, co-worker, committed, hookup relationships, and those who are single and self-partnered. So yeah. So in terms of family relationship, it can deepen our emotional connections and create more intimacy and loyalty in them. We can feel more passionate and committed to the idea of supporting each other for emotional challenges, and this can lead to stronger bonds and a sense of unity. But negatively, power struggles, jealousy and possessiveness within family, and issues around trust and control can come up, and this can cause conflicts, disagreements and emotional turmoil, add to the trauma on the psychological and spiritual level as well. So, to overcome these shortfalls, we have to try and be open and honest and focus on nurturing healthy relationships, even if you don't understand where the other person comes from, and they may seem, illogical to you right now. And, sometimes, it's about compromising, trying to put each other in each other's shoes, but again, not allowing people to abuse you or you're abusing others as well. In terms of friendship, again, it can lead to intense bonding between friends, creating more loyalty and trust once again as we open up more. But again, the same issues of possessiveness and jealousy can come up, and hidden tensions can come up because secrets can be revealed right now, or long forgotten about arguments can, surface again, causing, rifts and cracks in the friendship. And ultimately, some friendships could end, but a lot of the time the friendships we have are not really built on solid foundations of honesty and communication anyway. They're more based on, don't ask, don't tell kind of things, So, if we're willing to address underlying issues in friendship, we can build more emotional awareness and self-awareness and emotional intelligence as well. And this can help us strengthen our relationships rather than strain and break them, if we're willing to, deal with whatever comes up. In terms of co-worker relationship, we can have more empathy and understanding and support in the workplace because we can be more honest and open right now, and this can be good for teamwork. But negatively, again, the same hidden agendas among co-workers, secrecy, jealousy, power struggles can come up. So we have to try and not manipulate people and watch out for when we are manipulated, and try and come from a place of authenticity. And we have to maintain a healthy balance of our emotions and boundaries right now to ensure that our relationships remain healthy and positive and productive in the workplace. In terms of committed relationships, positively, we can have more intense passion between partners because we can feel more loyal and committed, and we can have conversations that deepen trust and bonding, a sense of connection. But again, the same possessiveness, jealousy and manipulation, suspicions, power struggles can cause tension in the relationship. So again, honest communication is needed, being honest, being respectful that you're both together but you're both individuals, and trying to understand each other even when you may not react or act a certain way. A lot of the time forget, this is why we sometimes shouldn't rush in at the honeymoon phase, because we get more caught up in lust and attraction than love, and then True love is about accepting the other person for all that they are, and sometimes we try and truly love someone, but some of their behaviours that they do we really don't like, but we try to accept it, and then we figure out, hold on a minute, you know, this person doesn't really meet my values, and this is why it's important to know values, talk about this upfront. The things that we tend to talk about 3-5 years down the line, we actually need to start talking about a lot sooner in relationships. But yeah, in terms of hookup relationships, it can make us more romantic and sexual and have deep emotional and physical and passionate love making or hookup making, you know, and it really pushes us to explore desires, and people can negatively again have that possessiveness and be able to, you know, sort of like trying to manipulate it by being secretive to maintain control, and can be a lot of disrespect to boundaries because things can get really intense. So just make sure if you engage in like certain sexual acts to have safe words, to make sure you feel safe to say no, and to be able to communicate honestly, and to, you know, get help if need be, you know, if challenging things come up. So now I'm going to talk about how those who are single and those in self-partnered relationships are affected when Venus is in Scorpio. So again, it can bring about intense and passionate connections in terms of, you know, singles can explore their desires and seek meaningful connections based on trust and loyalty. So, you know, dating becomes shift to, you know, looking for those with depth and being attracted to those with more depth or mysteriousness to them. Negatively, you know, again, power struggles and jealousy can get in the way. And because we can experience, if you're single, being drawn to magnetic and mysterious partners, you have to be cautious of getting too deeply involved too quickly. Self-partnered people can experience a period of intense self-reflection and transformation, digging into our own emotions and desires with a newfound depth. It's essential to navigate this energy with awareness and mindfulness, to use the positive aspects while, you know, dealing with the, you know, navigating the challenges that can come up as well. So now I'm going to talk about how Venus in Scorpio affects our career, personal, spiritual and educational and self-partnered development in more depth. So in terms of our career, you know, it can help us build stronger, genuine connections with colleagues and clients and business partners. We can work together and form partnerships based on, you know, depth, and this can allow for new opportunities to materialize, you know. But negatively, because it pushes us to confront hidden tensions in the workplace, it can bring up a lot of frustration, arguments and stuff like that. But whatever happens is pushing you to create a healthier atmosphere in the workplace, and making sure you apologise or accept apologies, try and reduce the conflict, but not run away from it, because good can come from it. It encourages us to focus on our self-worth and financial stability, so we may feel compelled to reevaluate our value in the workplace, pushing discussions about promotions or raises, and it wants us to sort of like watch our motivation drive, because it is quite strong, but us being too pussy can add to the conflicts and misunderstandings. So it's important to be transparent, honest, you know, open in communication, and try to work with people rather than against them. And this can lead to a more rewarding career, you know, trajectory path right now. In terms of personal development, It encourages us to explore our desires and passions more openly, and it allows us to work on our self-reflection and personal, growth, and go deep within ourselves so we can learn to get a better understanding of our psychological, emotional, spiritual needs and values. But again, we can get jealous and manipulate others in relationships. We can also sort of like hide from ourselves as well, and just, sort of like try and not do the work that Scorpio is trying to make us do in our inner values or relationship, whichever, one attracts you more, you naturally comes up for you. Some of you be working on your inner values, some of you be relationships, so it wants you to really channel this energy towards your personal growth, self-love, acceptance, management, forgiveness and understanding, and more importantly, again, awareness. So yeah, in terms of spiritual growth, again, it allows us to explore the transformative power of believing in yourself and tapping into your inner self, and really gaining an understanding of your spiritual beliefs, your values, your needs, your desires. Also can lead to having more understanding about your direction in life and your sense of purpose, and what you need to do to align your actions and your words and behaviours with your personal, career, spiritual, educational goals. We may want to meditate, journal, do other things, mindfulness, meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, there's other tools. Seek out which resonate with you, or continue with your own practice to get really deep into the hidden aspects of your psyche. Some of you may experience deep spiritual revelations right now, as this energy can bring buried feelings to light, pushing you to confront fears and insecurities that have been lingering beneath the surface. And although this can be challenging, it really allows us to commit to our self-exploration and self-understanding, and allows us just to feel more whole within. Now, in terms of our educational and skill development, it wants us to develop skills, or continue to develop the skills that align with our, evolving, changing self, and it can ignite our passion and curiosity, as I said. But in terms of education, we can really get, really passionate about psychology, astrology, astronomy, healing techniques, meditation, all that kind of spirituality in general, philosophy, deeper religious exploration, or, whatever takes your fancy, mystical exploration. You want to engage in more workshops, online courses, community classes as well, and these can increase your knowledge. But not only that, they can connect you with like-minded people who share your quest for growth. And you just have to sort of like remember, as you go after your educational and skill development goals, that it will require you to navigate obstacles and confront your limitations and preconceptions, and this energy supports you in digging deeper and challenge you to get beyond the superficial and outside of your comfort zone, and integrate new skills into your life, and not only transform your mind but also your approach to personal and professional challenges. And by doing so, you will not only enrich your skills but also create a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. In terms of self-partner development, it can help you gain a deeper sense of your emotional intensity and intimacy in relationships, or problems of intimacy, and you not wanting to handle emotional intensity within yourself or others as well. And this kind of self-reflection can lead to greater understanding of your desires, motivation, values and boundaries, as it confronts you to look at your insecurities and behaviours and thought patterns, and become more empowered and look for emotions that revolve around control, possessiveness and jealousy in yourself as well. Also watch out for becoming too focused on past wounds and betrayals as well. But yeah, go into, you know, the trust issues and past wounds and betrayals, but don't get fixated. Try and think of the solutions rather than you know, thinking that they can stop you from being who you really want to be, or letting them control you. So self-care and seeking support when needed can be really good for you, and it's good for you to, you know, do what you can to really forgive yourself and others for the past. And I know it can be hard to do, but this energy can allow us to do so. It can also make us revengeful and jealous and bitter, of course, but, you know, positively, this energy can lead to greater self-acceptance and acceptance of the world and the people in it. Now I'm just going to finish up with talking about the best things for creatives, professionals and entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers and single and self-partnered people to do. So creatives, you know, explore your darker emotions through art or writing. Professionals and entrepreneurs, you know, dig into intense and strategic business planning. Alternative healers focus on energy work or practices that, you know, kind of create a space for emotional, psychological and spiritual healing. Lovers, you know, deepen your relationships through open communication and vulnerability. Singles, you know, use self-reflection to explore your desires. Self-partnered people should practice self-love and care rituals to strengthen their relationship with themselves. And overall, you know, the positives of this energy is that it does allow us to intensify our emotions and deepen relationships, creating more passion and intimacy in them, and, you know, really experience transformation in the matters of love, romance, finances, especially joint finances, and, you know, our own self-love as well. But negatively, you know, the jealousy, possessiveness, the need for revenge and power struggles in relationships can get in the way. To make the best of this energy, focus on deepening your connections with others and allowing yourself to become more self-loving and you know, transforming to who you authentically want to be. So yeah, that's the end of this special on Venus transiting in Scorpio. I'm Amani, your holistic karmic astrologer. Take care and see you next time.